Thank you, Dr. Briggs. As always, my time we're going to shake hands.
Sorry about that.
I always come back and speak to Dr. Briggs' class. I want to thank you for allowing me to take up your time today. My purpose, goal, and dream is to make you be able to come one step closer to your dreams coming to reality, okay? I'm going to read you something. You are not here by mistake. Around the world and down through the ages, there have never been another you. And there will never be another you. The miracle of your existence is in your hands. You are here for a purpose. You have something that only you can give the world. Take the time to do it. There's two types of people in the world, not Republican, Democrats, black, white, rich, poor, uneducated, educated. There's dreamers and non-dreamers. You'll always get in trouble by wanting too little, but you'll never get in trouble by wanting too much. The difference that separates people, the average people, from the good and the great is their ability to not be afraid of failure. That's what cripples us. That's what stops us. You have to have this vision where failure doesn't even exist. Let me give you an example of some people. Henry Ford. Henry Ford spoke in one-word sentences. Yes, no, He only had a second-grade education. Henry Ford was not even the best mechanic in the shop he worked in. But he had the ability to take automotion to application, the assembly line. Automotion to application. Oprah Winfrey, first African-American female billionaire. She was told she was too fat, too ethnic, and talked too plain. Okay? She was not afraid to accept failure. Ralph Lauren, who would have ever thought that Bloomingdale's would take this little man with a stick and a horse, okay, and that would bloom into $1 billion industry. The first time Ralph Lauren, real name Ralph Lepowitz, went into Bloomingdale, they kicked him out. They didn't want those ugly ties. And Harold Schultz, every other morning when I walk into Starbucks, I'm amazed still at why did I pay $7 for a cup of coffee? Who would have ever thought it, okay? Not afraid to press the envelope and look at their dreams. Always know this as you pursue your dreams, wherever it be, whether it's economically, educationally, or relationally, you are your own driving engine, okay? And you are your own brake. I'm going to tell you a story. There was this old man that was a business guru. And the young whippersnapper approached him one day and said, I want to be just like you. I want to be rich just like you. Tell me what I need to do. So the business guru told the young man, meet me at the beach at 4 a.m. Next morning, bright and early, the young kid meets the business guru at the beach at 4 in the morning. He has on a suit, should have had on shorts. So what the business guru does, he takes him out in the water, takes him waist high. He said, do you still want to make money like me? He says, yes. And the young kid's thinking, I didn't come to swim. I want to learn how to make money. So he takes him a little farther. Now he's up to his shoulders. And this kid is really, really worrying because he can't swim. So he says, do you still want to make money like me? So he takes him a little farther and he knows that the kid gets ready to turn around and go back to the shore. The old man grabs his head and pushes it underwater. He's flailing. He's trying to get away. He's trying to break away. Finally, the old man lets him up. Once he catches his breath, he asks him a question. When you were underwater, what did you want most? And the young kid says, I wanted to breathe. And he tells it, you will only become successful when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. That's when you become successful. I often tell people when I speak, I'm willing to die for my ideal. I'm willing to die to make my dream happen. Okay? Who in this room wants to be rich and successful? Raise your hand. Okay, almost everybody. I got to tell you something. What are you willing to give up? You know what you got to be willing to give up if you want to be rich and successful? You know what? Everything. I lost everything. I tell students, I tell people, I didn't lose one BMW, I lost two. I lost my wife, I lost my child, I lost everything. You got to be, okay, I'll tell you what. You don't want to be successful as bad as you want to talk on your cell phone. You don't want to be successful as bad as you want to watch Friends every night or Scandal or whatever the hell it is, okay? You don't want to be successful as bad as you want to play video games, okay? If you really want to be successful, if you absolutely positively want to be successful, you got to be willing to give up anything in your life at a moment's notice. You got to be willing to give it up if you truly want to be successful. Success is a process. Let me tell you something. Nobody becomes successful overnight. You talk about the Googles and the eBay. Bill Gates was in the desert in Arizona for 7 years working on Google. 7 years being broke. 7 years being turned down. Okay? So it's not an overnight process. It's a long process. Okay? I speak often. I spoke at Dr. Briggs' class last week. Okay? I was here mentally and spiritually long before I saw you guys. I was working on this last Thursday. The minute I got a Dr. Briggs' first class in the afternoon last Thursday, I started working on this pitch for you guys. Success takes a lot of work, but you got to decide how much you want to put in it. I'll tell you a story about a little kid talking about work and the process. A little kid was practicing soccer one morning. He called his dad. He said, "Dad, I've been practicing all morning, practicing my soccer kicks and my headers." And the dad said, "Fantastic, son. You've been practicing all morning." He said, "That's not the good thing." He said, "I didn't even make the team." Okay? The process. You got to be engaged in the process to be successful. Talking about the process, I'll give you an example. Far in the islands over to the far west, far east rather, there's a tree called a Chinese bamboo tree. To get the tree to grow, you have to water it and fertilize it almost every day for 5 years. Okay? Can't miss a day. 5 years, you got to water and fertilize this tree. All of a sudden, unexpectedly, in a 6-week period, that tree grows 90 feet. So the question is, did the tree grow 90 feet in 5 years, or did the tree grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? It grew 90 feet in 5 years. To be successful, you got to go from the external. Everybody raise their hand, but you got to go from the external to the internal. Okay? You got to feel success. You got to breathe it. You got to eat it. For example, I'll give you, for example, somebody. Beyonce's on the set, her first movie set. Beyonce's doing her thing. She's dancing. 3 days pass. You know what she did? She forgot to eat. 3 days. She's engaged in the process. She forgot to eat. How in the world you forget to eat? Be engaged in the process. After this, back in the 90s when the Cowboys, I'm not a Cowboy fan, okay, were winning Super Bowls, Emmitt Smith is being interviewed. He's lifting weights. And he says, "We won the Super Bowl. I'm going to take a break." He rests for 2 seconds and starts working again. The process takes work. You know what the end of the caption of the commercial said? All players are created equal. Some work harder in the offseason. Talking about work ethic. 50 Cent was interviewed. He was working on one of his first movies. And in the daytime, he'd have his acting coaches, and he prepared for the movie. And at night, he wrote the screenplay for the movie. And so they asked him, 3, 4, 5 days passed. They said, "When do you sleep?" You know what he told them? "Sleep is for those who are broke. I might miss the chance to take my dream to a reality." What are you guys willing to give up? Next time you guys, when the girl on campus you've been wanting to talk to, next time she calls you, tell her, right phone number, wrong time. Call me January 2015, okay? If you really want to be successful, you got to be willing to give it up all. You have to be willing to give everything up. I say that you got to be willing to step on your mother's hand. My mother's sitting here. I wouldn't step on her hand, but I say it in a funny kind of way. You have to be willing to. Who likes rap music? I know more than y'all like rap music. I'm 56 years old. I bought my first CD about a year ago. And you know what I did? I listened to the same songs 20 and 30 times. Do you guys listen to the music, or do you listen to what they're saying? You know what they're talking about? Going from the corner on the block to the boardroom. Going from the projects to estates. Going from the cab to Bentleys and Maybachs. You got to listen to what these guys are saying. Okay? They're not talking about, I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth and now I'm making money. No. One of the guys talks about, he goes from saving pennies to living next to Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway was a famous basketball player. Okay? You have to listen to what these rappers are saying when you listen to, same thing with country music. They don't talk about it as much, but listen to what these people are saying. I'm going to give you a prime example. Adele, oh my God. Adele, top singer. I just really got to liking the music recently. Adele, she's in the studio, hits a block, creative block. Can't get nothing out of her. She's out of the studio for weeks and months. A strange thing happens. You talk about pain. Strange thing happens. Her boyfriend of years quits her, fires her. Even worse than that, a few weeks later, he meets somebody else and gets engaged. Okay, Adele is hurting. Adele said, let me in the studio. When I talked about from the external to the internal, that internal hurt, 6 Grammy nominations, album of the year, song of the year. What she was singing wasn't no song, okay? She was singing what she felt, okay? Listen to what these people are saying, okay? You know what hurdles are? Hurdles are really ways to determine if you want it. Okay? That's what really hurdles are. That's what really setbacks are. That's what really missteps are. That's what failures are. Failures aren't really failures unless you stop. Okay? Me and a family member one time, we're talking, and he's crying. So he gets me to cry. And I told him, let's don't cry to quit. Let's cry to keep going. We're already in pain, so let's get something for this pain. Let's cry on the other end of this, okay? We already messed up. We already got setbacks. We already got mishaps. Let's cry for the success. Let's not cry to quit. You know, successful people, if you sit back and wait on success and opportunity to come to your door, you're going to have a long beard, okay? You have to create your own success. You have to create your own opportunity. Hey, listen, I didn't have a stellar GPA, okay? Did not. I didn't have a stellar corporate career. But something in my mind kept telling me, I want more. I want to do different. I want more. I want to do different. Okay? You know what separates average, good, and great? Okay? You know what separates them? Good employees just want to get a paycheck. Okay? They just want to get a paycheck. Average employees want to take care of their families and appease their boss. But you know what great people do? Great people find a need or a want, and they fulfill it. That's what great people do. Great people make a difference. Steve Jobs once said, live your life as if this was the last day of your life. What are you not doing? What are you not achieving? What can you do differently to make your life different today? If you die today, would this be the last thing you want to do? Okay? Everything you did today, when they put it on your headstone, got up at 12 o'clock, watched the stories, went to the student center, hung out, went to class, listened to Larry Kemp and died. Okay? Would you want that on your headstone? You know what I'd say on my headstone? Got up this morning, 4 o'clock, studied for Dr. Briggs' class, went to the office, made some business decisions, closed the deal, got ready for Dr. Briggs' class, and hope I prayed I made the difference in one kid's life. Hope one kid heard what I said, and he believes in himself when everybody else doesn't believe in him. That's what I'd have on my headstone today. You know, greatness, you read about all these great people, and all of us have bought these books. Success, Secrets to Success, Secrets to Success, Success. Success and greatness is not this elusive, esoteric, unreaching thing that only the few of us can attain. Success is in all of us. God gave us all certain skills, talents, and abilities that the person next to you does not possess. But the determining factor, are you willing to work 100 hours a week? Okay? Are you willing to go to a bank after you've been turned down for loan 75 times? Okay? Are you willing to sit in McDonald's headquarters like Bob Johnson, the founder of BET, every day to catch somebody in the marketing department to pitch BET to them? Are you willing to do that every day for 3 or 4 years? Are you willing to be like Kathy Hughes of Radio 1, TV 1, to be turned down 60 times for a bank loan? Okay? Bill Gates, after they get Google working, he calls the president of Encarta, and the man hangs up in his face. He calls the president, he calls the president of Encyclopedia Britannica, and he hangs up in his face. Then in turn, he calls the president of Encarta. Today, Encarta is on every Microsoft operating system. And where is Encyclopedia? Out of business. Suppose Bill Gates would have stopped with that first phone call. To be successful, you have to commit your entire being. I live, drink, sleep, wear, dance, eat this. Okay? My first billing was $1,060 a month. I was 39 years old, ex-IBM executive. Billing $1,060 a month. Everything works right. We hope we'll top $3 million this year. Okay? I got recognized by Harvard. Okay? And I was not that good of a college student. First level of success. The first level of success. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Everybody close their eyes. Close their eyes. Everybody close their eyes. I see people still looking at me. Close your eyes. And I want you to visualize where you want to achieve, what you want to do, what you want to get. Okay? Okay, open your eyes. The first step in success is seeing it way before you get it. Okay? You have to know what it looks like, tastes like, smells like, long before you get it. Because if you don't, you won't know what it is. And while you have to know what it is, you might compromise on the way. You remember, you always read about this actor turned down this role, or this guy said he wouldn't play for this team. You know why? Success didn't look like that to them. You got to know what your success looks like. Okay? If you don't know what it looks like, you'll never get it. You'll get halfway there and stop. Or you'll compromise your values or your principles. Okay? So you have to, the first level of success is know what your dreams look like. Another thing about greatness and wealth, it's a consciousness. Okay? You know, seeing it, it's a consciousness. My first suit was 50 cents from Goodwill when I was a kid. Now I got a tailor. Okay? I came a long way from that 50-cent suit. I came a long way from sharing a bed with my brother. I slept in a bed with somebody so long. When I got married, I got at the other end. I thought you were supposed to sleep with people spitting in your face. One thing about life, nobody can determine your destiny but you. Do you remember, you can't even imagine how many times I heard, no, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't. I wouldn't. You ought to stop, reconsider, get a job. You can't imagine how many times I heard no. You know, I heard no so many times I thought that was my name, okay? I don't pay attention to nothing what's going on around me, okay? Somebody was talking, I mentioned this in class, somebody was talking about the recession, depression, whatever it is. I simply said, we refuse to participate in it. Made more money in the recession, depression than my company ever had. I don't participate in what's going on out in this outside world. I don't care what the tax rate is. I don't care if there's a war. I don't care what, nothing is matter. I'm going to work and achieve what I want to. You got two things. There's two things you have absolute control over. Two. Your work ethic and your attitude. Okay? So I already know this to be a fact. My competition, I'm probably not smarter than they are. I probably don't have as much resources as they have. But I know one thing I'm going to beat them at every time. I'm going to outwork them. Done deal. I'm going to outwork them every time. Okay? And even though you hear about Harvard and we've grown this company and we've recognized we got 150 employees and all these great mighty things, okay? I've been on TV and magazines and all this stuff. But life has not been a bed of roses for me, okay? I've had my haters, okay? I've had people that doubt me, okay? I lost my father in the midst of growing this business, okay? Went to the hospital 5 times a day for 5.5 months to see my father, to make sure he's all right, to get as much information from him while he was dying as I could to try to take this business forward. That was my learning ground. What are you willing to do? Who's going to go to the hospital 5 times a day for 5.5 months and say, how would you do this in this situation? You know what? And the funny thing about it, I never thought he was going to die. Never thought he was going to die. And the reason I didn't think he was going to die, I had to stay in the present. That's what separates great people from average people. I stayed in the present. I couldn't think about him dying. I couldn't think about burying him. I had to think about running a business and taking care of a family. Running a business and taking care of a family. And then cussing the doctors out at night. Again, my life hadn't been a bed of roses. When I was a kid, the teachers came to my parents and told them I was unmannerly, unteachable. They need to hold me back in class. Okay? Suppose my parents would have listened to me and put me in a special ed class because I was hyper and, you know, and the things that those teachers saw as deficits, they really turned out to be my assets. Here's a defining moment in your life. Defining moment. At any moment in time, you have to be willing to give up who you are so you can become that person you need to be. You don't know when it's going to happen. It didn't happen to me until I was 39 years old. Something inside me one day said, will the real Larry Kemp please stand up? Okay? Quit settling. Quit being average. Quit not going the whole 10 yards. Okay? Let me tell you what separates a lot of people. You have a test, you study, and get sleepy. And go to bed. You need to drink some Red Bull and keep on going. Okay? Why you didn't start studying 2 weeks in advance, a little at a time? Okay, I tell you what, if you were planning for the sorority party, you start studying 2 weeks, start preparing 2 weeks at a time. If you was planning for the big date, you start getting ready hours in advance. So you take those same efforts you apply in your social life to your business and your pursuits, you'll see the difference. Okay? What you'll do, you'll gradually start seeing yourself, separate yourself from the pack. Okay? You'll start talking a little different. You'll start walking a little different. You'll start eating different. You'll start reading different. And then you separate yourself. If you want to be really successful, you have to separate yourself from the pack. No matter what happens, you can never, ever compromise your dream. There's a whole community out there. I call them dream killers. Keep them out of your community. Don't let them come down your street. And don't you go in their neighborhood, because they will kill your dream. They'll tell you you can't. You won't get the financing. You can't get the deal. That sounds crazy. Suppose they would have told the Wright brothers that. Okay? Every notable billionaire started out broke. Okay? I study rich and famous people, so I can tell you anything you want to know about a billionaire. Most millionaires didn't hit success till the 17th try. 2.5 bankruptcy, 2.5 divorces. What person with common sense wants to go through that? Okay. See, there's one thing about your dream. You know who's responsible for your dream? You. Okay? You and you only. So when you're telling other people, don't expect them to believe in your dream. Don't you expect them to buy in your dream. You and you only are responsible for your dream. I told a friend of mine, he keeps coming to me with business ventures that I'm not even considering. I said, you will not be successful until you don't want, need, ask, or require anything of anybody. I don't need any advice, even though I get it. I don't need any input, okay? I don't need your loan. I'm going to print me some money. One thing about successful people, they do, what you say has to be congruent with what you do. You can't say, I'm going to study for medical school, I'm going to study for medical school, and half the day you're in the student center. Okay? You have to constantly improve yourself. You have to constantly invest in you. They say, so psychologists, sociologists say, you're the sum total of the 5 people you hang around the most. Okay? That's what your average does. So look who you hang around, and that's who you are. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And people say all the time, you get up at 3 in the morning, what are you doing? I'm studying, I'm reading, I'm going over papers, I'm listening to motivational tapes, I'm doing all these different things. I might touch at a mile on a slow jog with me and my dog. But this is what I came up with. If getting up at 3 a.m. can help my family live in the manner they want, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. the rest of my life. Okay? Because my dreams have changed my family for 3 generations. Okay? My family will never be the same again. Okay, back to Dream Killers. I often tell a story about a meeting with the Small Business Administration on this huge contract that can possibly change the landscape of our company and our business for generations to come. The council goes on this long tangent on why I can't have the contract. And I asked the lady, who was she talking to? Okay? Now, granted, there was only 2 people in the room. Okay? And I was trying to figure out who she was talking to. Because in my being, she wasn't talking to me. $14 million later, we got the contract. Suppose I would have listened to her. Suppose I would have took no. Okay? Suppose I would have took no. I didn't hear a word that lady said. Not one single solitary word. After she said no, I clocked out on her. Okay? I wasn't going to let a dream killer come in my neighborhood. Okay, I put up the road barriers. One thing about successful people, they don't quit. See, most of us are pretty good in the first quarter. Pretty good in the second quarter. Third quarter, our talent and skills start diminishing. In the fourth quarter, we can forget it. Okay? The fourth quarter is the quarter we're supposed to be going the hardest. Okay? How is it that this kid from Fort Worth, I don't know my grade point, average student at UTA, played basketball at UTA. I was lucky to make the traveling squad, okay? I probably didn't score 30 points my whole UTA career, but I sit on the athletic advisory board, okay? Okay. How is it that I'm recognized? How was I recognized by Harvard? Wasn't that I was that smart? It wasn't that I was that gifted. Okay? I don't have any special talents and abilities. But what I did, I outworked my competition. I always outwork them. Okay? I don't pay attention to what's going on around me. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. Snow, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, So what? I got a job to do, and I'm going to do it. One thing I ask you to do is invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and dream big dreams. Thank you very much.
Open it up for questions.
Yes, sir.
So is success different for every person? Is their definition of success different?
Oh yeah, I mean, success for this person might be a great mother. That might be success to them. Success to this person might be able to teach kids how to read. Success to me, I'm an entrepreneur. Success to me is building a business. That's success to me. It just varies to what your particular goals and life pursuits are. There is not, and you know what, I'll tell you something. Once you achieve success, it has nothing to do with money. I'm not even driven, I like money, but I'm not driven by money. That is not the driving factor with my life. Anybody else? Yes, sir? No such thing as luck. You make your own luck. There's no such thing as luck. If I believed in luck, I'd have a pocket full of rabbit tails and jump around black cats. There's nothing to do with luck. You make your own opportunity. You make your own luck. You have to make your own opportunity. Who would imagine that you buy coffee for $7? Who?
Gotta start at Starbucks.
Yeah. Who? Yeah. Who? And you know what? There's places in Chicago, Michigan Avenue, and I can't think of the other street. You can go down the block, and every 4 or 5 blocks, there's 2 Starbucks right across the street from each other. The most mind-boggling thing I ever saw in my life. Okay, but again, you cannot luck. Hard work, determination, persistence, and preparation. Yes, sir.
When you asked everyone to close their eyes, look around, how many of these students do you think didn't see anything at all?
Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody saw something because you wouldn't be here. Okay? Everybody saw something. Somebody is saying they're in class for a promotion on their job. They're in class to secure a degree to become an engineer or a doctor or a music teacher. I don't believe nobody in here does not have dreams. That's crazy. You don't go to college not dreaming of graduating and securing a profession and going in that profession. You don't go to college not dreaming. You know, everybody in this room dreams of graduating, number one. No, let's just take a step back. Dreams of passing this class. Okay, that's first. And then dreams of graduating. So we all have dreams, but they differ. They differ, okay? I dream of my granddaughter securing the script for Disney that she's reading for. I dream of that. I dream of my daughter going to graduate school in Europe, which she's doing. I dream of my mom living to be, she's 77, I want her to live to be 97. That's what, dreams are different. They all are not associated with money, but they can be. I'll tell you another thing. The way to look at mistakes is you embrace them. That's why people don't achieve and do what they want to do in life. They're so afraid. I have screwed up royally more than one time, okay? But it's the way I look at mistakes. I embrace them, okay? I learn from them. You know what I do? I move to the next one because I know I'm going to make another one, okay? And I embrace that mistake. And I move to the next one. Because what mistakes do, they make you learn. They stretch you. They make you grow. There's no such thing as a mistake. It's just a hard learning process. That's the way I like to say it. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe in, if you want to be successful, hang around successful?
That's what you got to do. I don't hang around negative people. Me and my friends, all we do is talk business. Talk business. Talk business. Talk business. Talk business. Okay? It's just like they say, if you hang around the barber shop long enough, you go get a haircut. You got to hang around people like you. You got to hang around like people. Okay? Stay away from negative people. these are words I don't digest or allow around me. Can't, won't, impossible. Those words do not exist with me because I have seen all those words defied. They do not exist. Okay? Don't exist. But like I said, I look out in this audience, I see bright eyes and bushy tails and talent and skills and abilities that mankind has never seen before. Okay? And I'm waiting to pick up the paper one day and Wall Street Journal say, UTA graduate found a cure for cancer. UTA graduate, Nobel Prize winner. UTA graduate, poet laureate. That's what I look forward to seeing.